to design and plan our communities for people. If we plan for cars, that is what you're going to get.
So what can we do to make it a bit quicker, make it a bit less stressful?
More frequency allows you to make decisions about where you live and work and be able to connect those without owning a car or having to use your car very rarely.
You can have 40 people on a bus, that's one vehicle, or you can have those 40 people in 40 cars.
This low-cost intervention had high impact already. It made it more dependable, more reliable, more efficient, which allowed buses to be less crowded. And you know, that again will only continue to increase as we make a dedicated effort towards expanding this type of option.
We saw a 35% increase in bus customers, 1,000 extra riders per weekday choosing to use the bus because it was more reliable and dignified.
You just have to be bold, and Mayor de Maria is definitely that. He's been the first one to verbalize that he wants to have BRT, you know, in Greater Boston.
We just basically, you know, put out cones, you know, one morning, and had some signs, and we had our parking enforcement officers patrol it, right? We kept vehicles out of it, and within like a week or so, everyone kind of got the message that from 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. this was going to be a bus-only lane.
We are here on Columbus Ave in the Eggleston Square neighborhood of Boston. What we see here is the region's first center-running bus lane. And what makes that special and transformational is that not only will the buses traveling in these center lanes have their own dedicated right-of-way, they don't have to deal with traffic and congestion, they don't have to deal with turning vehicles. So it gives them a contiguous right-of-way of travel, free from all conflicts.
It's just like a dedicated bus lane. I get there faster. It's great because it's just dedicated just for bus. And I guess that for people that like see that, they're like, let me just take some public transportation instead of like using my car.
This whole universe of improvements we've made to the bus system have been incredibly important for our riders, incredibly helpful in spreading the word about the potential for bus service in this region.
I think if the pandemic taught us anything, is that residents, particularly our essential workers, which tend to be, of course, people of color, low-income residents, they were the backbone of our economy during the pandemic. They relied heavily on the T, but particularly our bus infrastructure.
A lot of the assumptions were that everybody fled off of public transportation, but that was opposite, exactly the opposite of the case in Chelsea, where throughout the entire pandemic, the top bus routes that remain with the highest ridership were routes that go through Chelsea and East Boston, the 111, the 116.
The T has been carrying hundreds of thousands of people every day throughout this pandemic, providing service for essential workers. And we're ready for folks to come back. We have plenty of service out there. If we still have a mask mandate in place, and we're ready.
Bus in general, transportation is how I go to my like 5 jobs, you know, and like go grocery shopping. So it's really important for me.
For Black bus riders, they're spending 64 more hours per year on the bus. And so that is time away from your children. It is time away from the workplace. And so it is definitely a racial justice issue in addition to being an economic justice and environmental justice issue.
Better Bus Project is looking at bus infrastructure as a way to provide better service and to make more efficient use of the assets we have. The bus network redesign component of that is going to look at, can we run better routes? Can we make routes more efficient? Can we bring people to and from the places they want to go?
So we need our buses to work better, and when our buses work better, it works better for everyone, including people who are traveling by car.
I'm really excited about the bus stops, the amenities for our bus users. I think when we think about stops, we think about them as just a simple sign. Through the transformation, we actually have the opportunity to put in better shelters, put in more real-time information, and like I said, treat the bus riders at the same level that we do our commuter rail and subway users. And that multimodal response is critical. Dedicated bus lanes, frankly, they exist in some parts of the city. They don't exist in every part of the city. The inequities are still there. And BRT is definitely a possibility.
What kind of vehicles are we prioritizing? And for a long time, just like across the board in this country, it's always been cars. And so we're starting to see some of this shift right here in Chelsea.
We need more of it. We need more of it. And not only we need more of it just for that, but also more of it also that it could also create economic opportunity for people who live here.
We're the #1 city in terms of congestion and traffic and being bad drivers. We don't want that title. And so, making sure that our roads work for everyone is really important. We've got a lot of folks in our city who rely on public transit, and we need that to work.
So if we can connect Everett to Boston, then you can connect Malden, Melrose, all of Route 1 North, right? You can take hundreds of thousands of vehicles off the road.
With the transformational programs, with the investments that the communities are making, I think now is the best time that we can do this. We're in the best position we've ever been in, and I think if we don't capitalize on that, and also using federal funding to help push that along, we're going to be 10 to 15 years from now.
I'd love to see full-scale bus rapid transit. I think we're in a transitional phase now as people get used to bus lanes and they get used to better service. I do think we're on a pathway to try to realize that by reimagining a bus network that has only been changed at the margins over the last 30 or 40 years.